What up, bros? Welcome to another Brograph Brocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And Brograph is a supplement to our site, Brograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other MoGraph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man.
Yeah, you did it in one sentence. I heard the straining. I
was running out of breath. I did it, though.
That was good.
And you can email us, brograph@brograph.com, and give us your suggestions for the show. We are having a really big Q&A answering session today. That's basically what the entire show is for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of your questions that you send us they can be questions about cinema or about the business. They can be hard, easy. It doesn't matter what it is. Send us your questions, topic ideas, or whatever it is to brograph@brograph.com. You can also put the show topic ideas in the Brograph Slack channel. That's brograph.com/Slack. There is a channel for show topic ideas, and a lot of people have been putting stuff in there. Today on the show, we're basically going through like all the stuff that we've kind of missed in the last couple weeks because we've had some guests and stuff. So we're going to be out of topic ideas by next week. So it's really important if you want to talk about some stuff.
Bang through everything and, not leave anything for the future.
That's what she said?
No.
So check that out, brograph.com/Slack, and go in there. It's a great community. Brograph Live Thursdays. We're going to have a Brograph Live on Thursday, the Redshift Thursday with Liam, and probably not doing an Octane Live this week just because it's super, super busy. If you didn't notice, we're already super late right now on delivering the show because we have been super, super slammed with work.
Super slammed. We're trying to get all caught up on work and everything so that the DFW C4D, we don't have anything lingering and we can actually focus on that for a couple days before the event.
Right. So it's been a good month. So, you know that things are going well when the podcast is late. So
things are going well for us when the podcast is late. When the podcast's late, things aren't going well for you guys though.
Wait, what? Yes, that's true, because you don't have a podcast.
Right, exactly.
If you're watching live on the live stream, welcome. We've got the Render Things shirt, which I'm wearing right now, which is going to be on the site and on sale within the next 24 hours. So you can pick up one of these. It'll be on Amazon. So that's fun. Finally got those worked in the right color. We had some color problems.
Yeah, we were trying to get the glow. And then when they printed it just made it pink, which I don't mind. I mean, it still looks fine with the pink, but the red looks way better. Yeah.
And it's still kind of a light red, but it does the trick. And I have an actual Stranger Things shirt, and it's all filled in. The color is all filled in.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe we should go that route. And then I got this, and I was like, no, this is good. It's more subtle.
Yeah.
The one that's like the official one for Stranger Things, it's just so big and so bright and out there. It's like a little too much. So I like this. Yeah. I like this better. And it's not only a shirt, but it's a hoodie pullover as well.
All right.
So you could get the hoodie pullover Render Things. So
and they're the more softer ones, right?
They're softer indeed.
Well, the canvas ones, right? Because those are amazing. I love those shirts.
Yeah, they're whatever the new
canvas brand.
Know. Yeah. So it feels good. It feels good, bro. That's going to be out. I noticed, I went back. I wanted to listen to the Jules episode from 2 weeks ago, and I just happened
so that you could actually take it all in.
Right. Exactly. and so I was kind of clicking through, and it finished. The next one came on, and it was you talking in the middle from last week. I guess I scrolled through the episode. I was like, your audio was soft. So Matt was a little soft last week, and I apologize for that. That's what she said.
Am I normal this week?
I don't know. So sorry about that. I noticed that. I'm going to make sure it's that perceived audio thing. I was looking at the levels, and I was in a hurry. So
way to go.
You will not be loud, but you will not be soft. You will be just perfect.
What about on the stream right now? Am I loud or soft?
Oh, you should be fine. I already tested all that.
All right.
So, what else we got here? Follow up from last week. Oh, hey, I just wanted to say I saw Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Have you seen Wonder Woman?
No, is it good? I hear it's awesome.
Have you seen the effects in Wonder Woman?
No. I haven't really seen it. I've heard terrible things about like doing the mustache on Justice League.
Dude, you need to watch the movie.
Uh-huh.
Because it's not about the movie itself. I have no problems with the movie itself, but you got to watch it and look at the effects. It's just like, ooh, that's really low budget.
I've always felt like, I don't know, maybe this is just DC. I mean, when you look at DC versus Marvel movies, you know, I feel like Marvel puts so much more into a DC movie, or Marvel puts so much more into a Marvel movie than DC does, you know, as far as effects and stuff. Plus, I always have a hard time, like, you know, when Sin City and what's the other ones that are all 300, you know, when those came out and it's all green screen and stuff like that.
Right.
Like I couldn't watch the movies. I felt too claustrophobic. You know, it was
like,
I
know what you're saying. So you feel like they're on a green screen.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of I've always felt that way. I've always felt that way watching DC movies as well.
They do this soft thing with it, like where everything has like a glow on it, and everything has that that edge softness, like the spill that they try and do. I feel like I've seen a lot of nuke compositors who overdo it on the softness.
Yeah.
Of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that feel. And so in comparison, I watched Wonder Woman. It's a great movie, but the effects are just not great. And then I looked at what was it? Avatar. I put on Avatar and I started watching Avatar, and that's like 10 years old at this point.
Yeah.
And the effects were so good. I was like, you can't even tell what's CG and what's not, and what they shot and what they didn't shoot.
Also look at the difference between, like, I think with Avatar, they had a whole lot more time in order to get that out. You know,
and I want to say at the time it was one of the biggest budgets ever.
Yeah, it was. You know, and so like then you've got DC or Warner Brothers who are trying to pump out. They're trying to go on like a Disney style. You know, we've got to pump out a movie here and a movie here and a movie here, and it has to be on schedule and stuff like that. So of course your effects are gonna, you know, do you want to pay a lot or do you want to pay, what is it? Fast, expensive, and or fast, cheap, and what's the other one? Good. Yeah. Choose two.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, come on now. It's Wonder Woman. Like, they should have spent a little more time and money on it, I felt like. I was just surprised that it didn't look better.
Yeah.
I guess that's the whole thing. So, I put this note in the wrong place. Whoops. I'm going to move this note right down here. Okay, so Wonder Woman. Man, let's talk about Windows Update for a second. I'm going to have to get Windows Pro, because I'm still having this issue. I was talking to David about it last night, I think. Here's the thing. I found out this week that Windows Home Edition added the opportunity, if you will, to disable the Windows updates.
Why do you say opportunity?
In services, because the opportunity is there. The fact that it works is not there, because after 10 minutes, it just re-enables itself.
Why does it re-enable itself?
I don't know. You disable the service, you tell it, you stop the service, you disable the service, and I'm caught in this infinite loop of crashiness.
Of
because what? An infinite loop of crashiness. Show title.
Okay, I like that. That's cool.
So here's what happens. It comes up and it says it has a special security update it has to do. And so what do? I say, well, close this, because I'm literally in the middle of something, Windows. It's the middle of the day. I've set my work hours to do this between 3 and 4. Do your updates between 3 and 4. Okay? So, does it do it between 3 and 4? No, it doesn't do it between 3 and 4. It decides it's going to count down 30 minutes. And if I'm not sitting at the computer, it's going to shut down whatever I'm doing. If it was rendering If it was uploading, doesn't matter what it was, it's going to cancel. So I go to Windows Update and I close it.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, Task Manager, stop. So it stops downloading for a little while. I stop services. I disable Windows Updates. 10 minutes later, it's doing it again. As soon as I step away from the computer for more than 30 minutes, that countdown timer comes up and it shuts down the computer. It resets the computer, it starts installing the updates, realizes it's failed, restarts the computer 5 times, does a Windows restore.
Yeah, restore, yeah.
Comes back, and because it's reset itself back to where it was, it says, oh, you have an update that needs to be done. I'm going to start downloading that right now. You have 30 minutes to cancel this if you're not in front of your computer. And this has been going on for the last 2 weeks.
I have
every
an
morning
idea
my
for
computer
you.
is off.
I have an idea for you. Are you ready?
What? Mm-hmm.
Spend a little time figuring out what the problem is and actually update your computer. But
I don't know what the problem is.
I know. Just Google it real quick. You know,
I have been.
I think
there's a thing called Windows Update Troubleshooter, and I went through that whole thing.
See,
that thing doesn't work either.
I did that on my PC, and it hasn't given me issues since. So, I don't know.
I don't know what to do. I guess I could update to Pro, but then I actually have to. It's not like you just type in a serial and it's done.
Right.
Like QuickTime and QuickTime Pro.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you actually have to install it, which means, of course, what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to make sure everything's backed up.
Nah,
which I don't have to do that on Dropbox. Yeah, but I mean, what am I going to
That's true.
Okay, you get everything working. You get all your plugins
all of
just
our
right.
tax information again.
No, that was a one-time thing.
I know, and that wasn't your fault.
Computer.
That wasn't your fault.
Yeah,
I'm just giving you crap.
I put everything on there. It's the software. That's the problem. It's just installing. If this computer was gone, I wouldn't really lose anything except all my ridiculous amount of time that I got all my settings and my software right, and my plugins right, and my serial numbers and all that stuff. That's the stuff that I don't want to do. Again, and this is the problem, moving to Windows, is that you've got to deal with this stuff constantly. That's why I moved to Mac in the first place. That's the frustrating part. I wish I could still be on Mac because it leaves you the freak alone when you're trying to work. Why is it such a hard thing for people to understand?
Mine says, do you want to update all the time?
Right, and you say tomorrow, and does it reopen in 10 minutes and try and do it again? No, it doesn't. Yeah. The tax thing, that's because I got the new razor. And the taxes, again, they don't do corporate tax they don't have a Mac version of the corporate tax software. They have it for the other stuff. They don't have it for corporate tax. So I have to do
it on PC.
Just the part of our business taxes on a PC. And when I did that, I put it in documents. It was a brand new Razer laptop, and I finished the taxes, and the next day the computer died.
Yeah.
After I sent it in. So the IRS got it, but then we had to send out for a copy of our taxes back to us because the computer died. I should have just put it straight on Dropbox, but Dropbox wasn't installed yet. It was like that fresh of a computer at that point. So
yeah, totally.
It's just so frustrating. I'm still not fully used to Windows.
I am.
I need to go in and customize.
I feel pretty good about it. Like I'm in it. I'm in it and I'm good. I think I've been in it for about a year, you know, a little over a year now, and I'm like,
it's not that. It's the fast. It's the speediness. It's getting around fast, you know. Alt tab. There's little things like that.
Yeah.
Like if you want to go between one program and another that you were just in on the Mac, you'll just hit Command Tab and it goes bam, and it just flashes back over to where you were. You just hit Command Tab real quick. You can't do that. You have to click on it, and even when you hold Alt Tab on Windows, it switches between them. If you let go, it disappears.
Yeah.
You have to Alt Tab over to it and then take your mouse and then click on it. Just let me Alt Tab to it. It's little things like that where my workflow has been slowed. Things like, okay, I want to open this PNG file, but I don't want to open it in the picture viewer. If I double click on it, it's going to go to where? It's going to go to the picture viewer, not to Photoshop. If I want to open it in Photoshop, like Mac, I can't drag it down into the Photoshop icon and it opens.
Well,
I got to go to
drag
Photoshop.
It on top of Photoshop if you've got Photoshop open.
So you have to open the windows next to each other, then drag it into Photoshop?
No, just if you've got Photoshop open, you know.
You can't drag it on the icon. It won't open the PNG.
No, not the icon. You just drag it on top. It'll open it up.
Of the software.
Unless,
so you have to have...
yes,
that's
true.
What I'm saying. Like, there's just so many things that are just 90% easier on the Mac that could be solved so easy on Windows, but they don't do it. They're abortion of a file explorer. They're like awful. I mean, there's just so many things like that. And even the shortcuts, I almost have all the shortcuts, but I'm kind of guessing just because the buttons are in a little bit different place. It's like you don't remember what the shortcut is. You remember the muscle memory. So I'm having to retrain the muscle memory because you've got Shift, Control, Alt, and then you have Start, which you barely use the Start key for anything. It's not like the Command key on Mac. But I'm still trying to figure out, and I've kind of named the key commands on my own, because like if you're going to hit Control Alt, for example, it's kind of like doing the rock, the rock symbol with your fingers.
Right.
Like rock on. So I'm like, okay, this is a command that's a rock command. Because I'm not going to remember Control Alt or where it is. I just remember it's the rock thing, right? Or I'll call it a mash if it's all three of them. Like you're trying to do that save for web thing,
right? This is totally that episode of Friends where Joey's trying to learn the how to play the guitar, and she's like, "Do the old lady,"
Oh, the
old lady of the crane or something like that. Stupid. Anyway,
go ahead. And then the Shift Control is just like your pinky and ring finger on your left hand. So I call that the two in the pink because that goes on the left side.
You are so fired.
So I've got the Start, the rock, the mash, and the two in the pink, and that's how I remember my hand gestures when I'm doing stuff now. So
I quit.
So I'm kind of getting used to it. I'm almost there, but a lot of it's just stuff I'm gonna have to find programs that help me. And again, that's the sucky thing, is then you have to load like 1,000 helper programs every time you are on a new machine or something like that. I want to be able to be as close to default as possible because I don't want to set all that stuff up all the time. But anyway, so we've been doing Rotobrush stuff this week.
Rants.
Yeah, I know, right? So we've been doing some Rotobrush stuff this week, doing some Roto. And I'm gonna sit down with you.
I've been deep in Roto for the past probably, I don't know, a month. Different projects all needing some Roto.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like not enough Roto where you want to farm it out. It's like just enough Roto. And so I think you're really good with the Rotobrush, and I want to see what your technique is because I haven't had as much luck with it.
I don't know if I really have a technique. I hate the Rotobrush. I think it's awful. But when used in conjunction with the Refine Mat, and you're up against a solid background color, and there's enough contrast, it works great.
Okay.
And really, my Rotobrush is all just it's a garbage mat. That's all it is. I select the areas and then let it chew through it, and then I refine mat, and then it's like, oh, okay, here we are. We're good.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to show me some of that this afternoon because I got some stuff I got to work on.
Nick Scarcella said, I got hot key control when I switched to Windows and remapped my keyboard to have the same layout as Mac. There you go.
And see, I mean, I get that, but see, I'm already used to these shortcuts for the most part. Then that's what I'm saying. I don't want to move it because then I get on another PC and then I'm lost.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to have to, if I go work for somebody else, if Barton's like, hey, can you guys come up here for a couple days? Then I don't want to have to install all my software in order to be able to work well, So I'm trying. So you're going to have to show me that stuff. And then we got Brograph stickers.
Yeah.
By the way, the Brograph stickers are in. We're going to be passing these out at DFWC4D.
Yeah, or hit us up on at NAB and we'll give you one.
Yeah, those aren't anything that we're going to send out to order. I mean, if you want to buy a giant pack of them, we could probably get you the link to our order and you could probably get some, but we'll pass those out if you see us in person.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to buy a package of 50 of them,
Right, I don't know what you would
hockey
do with
puck.
That. Looks like a pack of
skull
electrical tape. That's what it is. Some skull. You gonna dip a skull? Yeah. Put in that chaw.
That's funny.
All right. Kit Bash 3D is going to be live in -9 minutes.
Oh, okay. With our boy David Ariev.
David's going to be on. We should just rebroadcast the live stream and just sit back and watch the whole thing.
Yeah, right. We'll just chat on what they say. Brograph branded pogs. That's hilarious.
We'll have some. We'll do Mystery Science Theater 3000 with David's live stream. We gotta set that up, do like a green screen, and so I don't have a link to that yet, obviously, because that's going live right now. But when there's a link to that, we'll put a link to that. And we did not do Brograph recommends with Jules.
We did not. No.
We need to do that next time.
Not last week. That was like 2 weeks ago.
Or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so what I'm thinking on that is that I don't know. He's a CEO, it's kind of one of those things where like he's a big deal, and we were like, I don't know if we want to.
No, I think we just forgot.
No, I thought about it, but I was just kind of like, I don't know if he wants to play that game, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll try that. We'll try that next time he's on.
All right.
So quick VR corner. Wanted to hop to. You put this in our notes, which is Quill updates in VR to do animation, which is really cool.
If you've seen some of the stuff that people have been putting out with Quill and like just doing the animation, from what they've been saying, it's like surprisingly fast to be able to do it. And so like you've got people who are pumping out like 5-10-second animations in just a couple of hours, and it looks so cool. It's got such a cool look to it.
Yeah, so, I'm really interested in trying it out. I just haven't had a chance. I don't know that I have Quill loaded anymore, so I'm going to have to reload it and check it out.
Yeah.
So what is Kit Bash? I didn't even know Kit Bash was like a thing, like a live thing.
Yeah, I didn't either. Because the first I had heard of it was I mean, I had heard the term Kit Bash, from David and stuff, but I thought that was just like an industry term that I didn't know. But
well, see, Kit Bash 3D is just, it looks to me like it's just a website. So they must be doing like this separate live stream. I think this is because when he did his Space Whales thing, I want to say that's what I might be wrong, but I want to say that's what he used for all those buildings and stuff.
I don't know.
So
maybe.
Got to check now and see if he's live. I see they have a Twitch, but it's offline. So I don't know. Maybe I got the time zone wrong, but I'll try and find a link to that and I'll put that in the dingus.
In the dingus.
In the dingus. So let's see. Okay, so now we're going to go to our topics because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So we're going to start with Steve 765, who says, what are people's thoughts on claiming freelance clients as your clients on a website, etc.?
I think that's it. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Is there a good way of wording it so as not to upset the agency, PR, production company which actually managed or won the project? Okay, I get it now. I've ended up not showing any of the work I've not directly won over the last 6 years, but I wonder if I'm being unnecessarily too careful. What are people's experiences? So basically, an agency calls you up. They say, we need work done on this project. You help them with it. Do you put it on your site? I say absolutely you do.
I would say yeah. I mean, unless you're specifically signing an NDA that says, you can't show the work, or you shouldn't be, you can't rebroadcast it. If you don't sign anything like that, then it's like, all right, this is free reign. This is good to go. I can post whatever I want, because you better believe some of the stuff, like the only stuff we don't post is stuff that we've signed NDAs on.
Right.
So,
and unfortunately, that's some of our best work.
That is unfortunately some of our
Everybody's
best work.
Everybody's like, good excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're way awesome. We've done like full feature films and stuff. We just can't show it to you.
We just can't show you.
NDA.
Yeah, right. So,
there are feature films that were never released.
Right. So, We are working on one in particular right now, which we're gonna have our name in the credits.
This will be the first time we've actually gotten our name.
We'll talk about it whenever it's out.
In actual movie credits and stuff, which is pretty cool. Yeah. It's kind of exciting,
Yeah.
So
on the big screen. So the thing about this is, to me, is the clients thing. So let's discuss that.
Yeah.
We don't really list our clients, air quotes.
Yeah.
When you just post the work, it's obvious who the client is, right?
Sometimes,
We don't really, a lot of people are real big on having a page that says, look at all the people we've worked with, and they put their logos up and all this stuff. It's like, if you watch the video, you can see. Now, there's some stuff that we've done for different people, especially on our site, where we put in conjunction with this ad agency.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of stuff for liquor companies in conjunction with these agencies.
Right.
That's on our site. And I think that's really all you have to do, is just give them the credit and say, this is the agency I was working for to work with, I don't know, Coca-Cola or Burger King or whatever. Yeah. And I don't think it makes it any less impressive that you did work for Coca-Cola or Burger King. It just says you're working with these people together. And unless they have a problem with that, or like you said, you have some sort of NDA or something that says you can't post certain pieces of work, I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that.
Right. I agree.
So,
and there's nothing against putting, the companies you've worked with on your website. We just don't.
Yeah. No, nothing wrong with that. It just seems like a little overkill. It seems like you're going out of your way. I don't know, just to make it.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're blurry.
It's all right. You're tooting your own horn. That's okay. You're allowed to do this in this industry. Yeah. Oh no, I'm blurry.
No, you're blurry. Why can't I see you? There you are.
There you go.
So, all right. So let's move to Tokyo Megaplex's topic, which I think he just joined the chat. So
yeah, he did.
This will be live. Maybe we can get some feedback on what we're talking about here. This might be kind of a taboo subject, but have any of you guys worked for shops that had a bunch of pirated software?
Oh, that is such a good question.
Said I did on a job once, and the guys who worked, the guys I worked for wanted me to work at their studio for a new project. I wanted to tell them I'm down on the condition that they don't steal the software, since it makes me uncomfortable on one hand, but on the other hand, it's also a really huge pain in the butt when things aren't up to date and have trouble working together. How would you guys approach this if you started working somewhere and they weren't paying for the software? It just seems really sleazy to me. And
well, here's a question: how do you know that they didn't buy the software? That's one question. Because most of the time you don't really ask. You just assume.
Right.
You assume because we're doing it, everyone else is doing it right. So since we're paying for it, everyone else is. I don't know.
Well, I think this has changed a little bit, honestly, in the last 5 years with Adobe CC.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Places we were working before, you would not know what version of Adobe they were going to have.
Yeah.
You're like, are they going to be on CS4, CS5,
Yep.
Version 8?
Yeah.
God knows. And
I worked at a place where every computer had a different version of Adobe software. It was awful. Like you'd be working on CS4 on one, then CS6 on another, and it's like, dude, these things, and so you're having to do XMLs in between everything. It's like, oh
gosh,
so bad.
See, that's the thing. Back in the day when CC wasn't a thing, I feel like you would have all those different flavors, and then if you needed a new one, like say, you did something on CS5 and they only had CS4, you would be like, okay, well, you need CS5 to open this. And they're like, well, how can we do that? I'm like, well, get CS5. Well, we can't afford that.
Yeah.
We already paid $800 for this last version.
Right. We don't want to pay
4 years ago.
No.
So it's like, all right. So this is the thing that CC has kind of cleared up, is that you can go in and do like an actual, like, like a, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's it's cheaper. It's so much cheaper, So
my mind is blank. Yeah.
The fact that you're paying a monthly price instead of like, all at once makes it a whole lot easier, so you can buy multiple licenses all at once. Not to mention, you can also have it installed on 2 computers, and I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing.
Everyone has it now. I have it. Back in the day before Adobe Cloud came out, I didn't have it. I didn't actually own a physical copy. The second they announced it and the second they released it, I bought it immediately. And I've been paying for it ever since. And
like
that's the thing.
Version...
Like, you go into a different studio or something, you've got your own copy. There's actually been a few times
that too. Yeah,
we have used our own copies of stuff and then just uninstalled it from the computer. That way, we're not liable for any of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
And if they don't have the newest version, that's their fault.
And the thing that happens too is it's not like even if you don't take it off of there. You can just go into your computer when you get home and say log off everybody else, and then they don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
But it does make sure that everybody is kind of on the same level, and it's like, oh, this was made in a newer version of Premiere, and you're like, oh, I must not be completely up to date, and so you just go in and you say update, and you're done.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's nothing else you have to do. You don't have to go buy another version. Just update it. So
yeah. Well, here's another thing. But you can't do that with, say, cinema,
right.
That's much more difficult.
And it's very expensive, and it's more likely that these people are going to have multiple copies of it.
Right.
Like places you and I used to work that had many copies of it. And even the people there are like, hey, well, can you just find a new version of it somewhere? And it's like,
yeah, I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Not really. I mean, but a lot of these places, just about everywhere you go, you're going to be able to find something pirated. And I'm not saying that like everybody is massive. I'm saying even if you go in one of the most locked down places and you dig into an After Effects folder somewhere, there's going to be one plugin deep down inside of it that's like from somebody's machine somewhere that they just pasted in there.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a nazy,
I guess you could say my
IT department.
My copy of RSMB is from an old company that I worked for, but in my defense, they are no longer around, so no one's using it. So
my version of RSMB is my copy. And I got a little upset because somebody grabbed it when we were working at this old place and installed it off of my computer. And I'm like, no, that was my personal copy, dog.
Yeah.
And that kind of pisses me off because I'm like, no, you can't. Because then that's how it all starts spreading around. And all of a sudden my serial number is on the internet or something,
Yeah. And then your
they
name
get mad
is
at me.
Branded as a
pirate.
Pirate.
And not in a good way.
Right.
So. Does that earring mean you're a pirate? Kind of. So.
All right. I would say, if just don't ask, if you're going into a place, if you know for sure, you can pick and choose your battles,
There's some places where it's rampant, and there's some places where there's like one or two little things.
Yeah.
And, maybe that's one of those things where it got overlooked, and they're going to say, hey, we just started using the software a lot, and we realized that it's pirated. We're going to go ahead and buy it. But like a place that has like 20 computers and 20 unauthorized copies of Cinema 4D, I'd say if you have 20 computers in your company, you can afford Cinema 4D.
Yeah, for sure.
If little old us can afford Cinema 4D, I'm pretty sure a giant company can afford Cinema 4D.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if the boss arrives in a Maserati every day or something, and everything's all extravagant. It's like, we can't afford software. I'm like, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be really expensive when you get found out. And whatever you do,
you just laid me off so that you could buy a Maserati.
Right.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. So, you know what you did. So, what about... Okay, first of all, I'll say nuke. If you work at a company, I'm just going to tell you right now, because I've seen it happen twice now with some particular person that I'm not going to talk about. Nuke and what are they? The Foundry. They are beasts with their pirating. Do not pirate Nuke.
Well, in his defense, I will say that is probably my fault.
Maybe because I did. But here's the thing.
Okay. So I saw this ad on Facebook that's like, pirating. Do you know a company that's pirating software? Fill out this stuff and you'll get money back. And come to find out later that it's total crap, and they actually won't give you anything. Because if you read in the terms of agreement and stuff, it says we don't have to actually give you anything. So like I went through, but I didn't care because I had just gotten fired from a job so that the boss could buy a Maserati. So, I went through and I told, them every piece of software that they pirated. I'm a bad person, whatever. I don't care. But yeah, they got caught using Nuke software and stuff. And so they ended up having to pay, I think it was like $10,000 or $15,000.
And that's the thing. It happened again. It happened again at the next place that a particular person went. And this time it was his fault, and it landed on him in particular because they were going to call his company and tell them what happened.
Yeah.
And so he got in kind of a pinch because it's like, okay, you can pay $10,000 for this software. We'll put you on a payment plan, or we can go directly to your company that registered over the internet and this IP address and tell them what you did, and they're going to fire you.
Yeah.
Because we're going to go after them instead. So he opted to pay them the $10,000 on a payment plan.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So did he actually do that?
Yeah.
Wow.
But he gets a copy at the end.
Yeah,
that's nice, the good part. But the thing is, it's just like, man, I mean...
Yeah, don't mess around.
You got to be careful with that. You really got to be careful. So now, if you go to these companies and they have the pirated software, I think to me, the first thing you want to do is talk to them about it. Be like, again, I think if there's one or two things here or there that can get overlooked, that's understandable. But if it's just on a mass scale, they're like, hey, check it out. We've got Fusion and all the Photoshop and Adobe products and Cinema 4D and 3D Studio Max and and it's all pirated. And it's on 40 computers. It's like, okay, come on, guys. You guys are obviously making money, so buy it. So, use your discretion. I think maybe, if you would talk to the people that are in charge and just say, look, here's the thing, I'm uncomfortable using this, or say, I think you guys need to be paying for it. Obviously, if you report them after you say that, though, then it's going to be obvious who reported them, but who cares if you're not going to work for them anymore? So
there's always Blender and GIMP, like Swaroop Patil said on the chat. Say, okay, I'll do this, but I've got to use Blender and GIMP because I'm not comfortable using your software.
Right.
So I'm gonna need some time in order to learn those. I'm gonna be learning on the job.
Well, that's the problem. Is they'll just be like, okay, we'll call somebody else.
Yeah.
It's
tough.
Here's the other side of that, though. Why?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, my question is, why do you feel uncomfortable? Is it the moral dilemma?
Yeah, I would say so.
Because if it's a matter of you just don't want to get in trouble, I don't think you're going to get in trouble. If somebody hires you and you come in and you're working on their software, you can just be like...
It's not your responsibility to know whether or not they're not pirating their software,
Right.
They're hiring you for a job, so they're the ones doing it. Yeah.
Right. You're not going to get in trouble for that. You're just sitting in front of the computer, so let them do that. If it's a moral thing, well, that's different because that's you just not wanting to do it because you feel that it's wrong. So there's that as well. So
yeah, totally.
All right, let's move on to Ri-Fi. Ri-Fi said, client just asked me for my source files.
Oh man, I feel like we talk about this one a lot.
We do talk about it a lot.
It's something. These are all things that come up in the industry all the time.
Yeah. AE projects, elements created, etc. for a recently completed project. That's never happened before, and I don't know what's generally considered acceptable. While I don't mind giving it to them, they'll have issues getting it to work because we use plugins quite heavily throughout. Any thoughts?
Okay, first off, like plugins and stuff, If they're asking for source files, that's not your issue. That is not your problem. And the more the more plugins you use, and the less that they can actually afford to buy and stuff like that, the more they're going to come back and actually use you.
Right.
But go ahead.
You're gonna have that thing where they come back and say, well, can you give me a copy of the plugin? Since you used it, you could give me a copy of it, right? Yeah. No, well, it doesn't work that way. You got to have your own copy of this plugin.
Yeah.
Unless you have a deal with them ahead of time that says you're going to do source files. But again, I've said this before, I work differently in my organization when I know that somebody else is going to have these files.
Yeah, same here.
I might label stuff a little more extensively than usual.
Right.
I label a lot, but when it comes to, let's say you're in After Effects and you put in a background color, right? Mm-hmm. I will probably not label that because it's on the bottom of the stack. Right.
Anything named solid, I won't name.
Yeah. Solid, right?
Yeah, it's always solid.
I might do them a solid by by labeling it and just saying background, right? Mm-hmm. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Is that the Nose Man?
I think it is. Yeah.
Nose Man. We need to have Nose Man on. We keep talking about this.
I know. Yeah. No. I think if you sign a okay. If you're going to work at a studio, yes,
it is Nose Man. He said if you work in your own office, then the IP is yours.
Yeah. See, and that's kind of, I think that's the general consensus, If you're working in their studio, it belongs to them. If you work in your own office, then it's yours, unless you specifically signed a contract ahead of time that says, you will give over all the source files and stuff like that. If they want the source files, some people, I know Already Been Chewed, dude, they just give out their source files. Barton, he doesn't seem to care about it, Like, it doesn't seem to be an issue with him because he's still got people coming back to him. But, us, we don't like to give out our source files. We like to keep it unless, one, it keeps clients coming back to you, which is always good. And two, I don't know. I guess it keeps clients coming back to you. It's your stuff, Yeah.
So I think it depends on the client. We've got some clients that are studios. Mm-hmm. And for me, let's say we're turning that stuff over to a studio. Mm-hmm. They're more likely to know what to do with the files. And what are they going to do? They're going to take they're going to take what we did. They're going to open it up. They're going to make variations of it that they would have hired us to do because they are a studio. Noseman says, a friend says, make it editable at high poly resolution.
That's
and that
good.
guy with a MacBook Pro isn't going to be able to open it, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things is that you're losing money because they're just doing the variations or the changes. They're not coming back to you for major changes. Right. There's some people you give them these source files, they will not know what to do with it. But our contracts say by default that you don't get any of this unless otherwise stated.
Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't read the contract, that's not my fault.
Yeah. And
we do offer it for a price, but we will actually give the source files if you want to pay extra.
Yeah. We had one client who asked for the source files, and we didn't agree on that initially, but we gave it to them as a sign of good faith because we wanted to do more work. Dude, they had no idea what to even do with them. And we ended up coming back for like 3 or 4 or 5 more additional rounds of changes. They also didn't understand Dropbox and couldn't download a 90 gig file, but whatever.
Right. They gave up on downloading the file and said, hey, can you guys just do the changes for us? Because we can't even get the files, let alone understand them.
Dan, that sucks. Dan Marino said, I did the same thing. They were pirating 6 copies of 3ds Max and V-Ray. They didn't pay me for 12 weeks. That brings up another situation. If you've got someone who is like, a pirating software, where's their money flow coming from? If they're having a hard time paying for their software, they're going to have a hard time paying for you. That's really good. That's a good one.
Yeah. Indeed, Grant. Indeed. That is Noseman himself in the Periscope chat.
Yes.
That's awesome. I cannot wait to have Noseman. Let's connect.
Dude,
not in the next couple weeks because it's crazy, but as soon as DFW C4D is over, in between DFW C4D and NAB, dude, let's do it. Let's do it. It's going to be such a great episode.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a 4-hour episode too. I guarantee.
This is one that I can just sit back and let Noseman talk the whole time. What's up, French Monkey? And now the
French Monkey is here.
Yep.
This is just awesome.
Yep.
All right. Have we covered enough on that topic?
What was the last topic?
The piracy.
Oh, okay.
And then the source files.
Oh, source files.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I switched over back to piracy from source files.
Right.
No, I think we covered source files. Just, Noseman said it right. If you're working in a studio, it's theirs. If you're working in your home office, it's yours.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So onward to the next topic, which I'm trying to stall so I can find where my notes are. Ri-Fi also asked, do you and or your guests go to an attorney or business consultant to help you with the business side of things? If so, have they helped you?
Business consultant, no. Attorney, we should probably, we have
consulted some people on some things, but
still sometimes attorneys can give you advice and then you'll lose a $60,000 contract anyway. It doesn't matter. So anyway,
we haven't done much in that. It's not that you shouldn't. It's just we haven't had that many reasons to do it.
Yeah.
I think if somebody has a good link, I know Ryan was actually looking on Slack, on our Slack channel for somebody, in particular in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I think the other day. If any of you listening know of somebody good and business consultant, I would like to hear about business consultants and hear what they have to say.
Yeah, I agree.
Haven't really thought about paying somebody and getting some advice on some of the stuff we're doing, but that might be a good idea.
Yeah. Haley Akins, who we had on a couple months ago before she started the Motion Hatch podcast, I believe a few of the people that she's had on have actually talked like this doing business type stuff as far as like, lawyers and blah, 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 all that stuff, so that could be a good resource for you to listen to.
One of the other things, though, is that I know a lot of people that I've met in the past who actually are a little bit over the top when it comes to that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people trying to start a business and they're like, well, we have to have everything perfect before we start. And it's like, dude, everything is not going to be perfect before you launch. You need to just launch, when you can. Get it good enough. I mean, there's always going to be stuff you got to tweak. Don't think you've got to get a business consultant on every little thing before you even launch your business, or it's never going to happen fully. You just kind of got to get it going. You can do this as you go. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to go out of business because a consultant didn't,
Yeah, I would argue against you a little bit. I think I don't think you should launch when things aren't quite. I don't know. Maybe you and I are talking about something completely different.
We're talking about things completely different.
Yeah.
We have somebody that we know that was working on a Kickstarter and it never got off the ground because everything wasn't perfect enough.
Yeah.
And,
that's true.
Not actually our friend, but the person he was working with.
Yeah.
In particular. And I was like, well, you could start that ahead of time and just kind of roll with the punches and kind of adjust as you go.
Mm-hmm.
Because, after 2 years of not launching, it's like, well, it's never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you want something that you launch to be good enough before you go. You don't want to just like launch something all crappy but don't overcomplicate it. Don't think that you need a business consultant for everything. I feel like if we were going to hire a business consultant, it would be 2 or 3 sit downs, talk about what we want to do, what our future is, get some consulting, pay them a fee, and be done.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're going to halt what we're doing in the meantime, and we'll take those changes into consideration and we'll slowly implement that. We're not going to sit there and just like, well, we're out of business until we make all these changes. Sorry. We'll reopen next month, next year, So... there was a link that was posted under that as well when it comes to contracts and stuff like that. It's called Contracts for Brograph, and this is a School of Motion contracts for Mographer podcast, and Houdini Mark, quote, says, "This is hands down in my top 3 of all School of Motion podcasts."
Okay.
So I'll put a link to that in the show notes, and you can check that out and check out contracts. And
cool.
Apparently it's really, really good. So I need to go watch that as well.
When I drink my drink, I need to make sure that the Brograph logo is showing.
Oh, product placement?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
You look like Stewie drinking the tab. All right. Pedro. Topic idea is focus. Speaking of which, with the
what'd you say?
Drinking, never mind.
Oh.
The topic idea is focus. How do you guys get in the zone and reach your most productive point when creating, and how do you isolate yourselves from distractions?
Turn off my Slack computer, and get off of Skype with you. Like, this has happened actually quite a few times in the past few weeks, where you and I will be on Skype and we won't be talking, but we'll be working, and then we're just like, dude, let's get off of Skype and just jam out to music, because, like, honestly, music is just like, you know, it's a, I don't know, it moves you forward. Yeah, it's something about
especially driving beats.
Yeah, driving, for sure.
Or for you, I guess it's like death metal, but
death metal, I don't listen to death metal.
Punk rock, I don't know.
Punk rock and death metal are 2 totally different genres, sir.
Close enough.
No, yeah.
It's like EDM and dubstep.
No. Death metal is lots of screaming and, you know, like guttural sounds.
So
punk
the
rock
is
like
different.
I love you. That's so stupid.
She left me roses by the stairs.
Anyway.
Okay.
Do you have any? Right. Okay, this is a fun question. I'm going to throw this out to the listeners too. Do you guys have any particular songs that just absolutely, once you listen to it, you're like, oh gosh, this reminds me of this terrible project I was working on, you know, or something like that. Like Forever. I've heard this like one playlist over and over again because I was just looping it over and over again while I was doing all this rotoscoping stuff, and that playlist will always remind me of terrible rotoscoping. Love you.
I don't have that, but I will tell you that there's sometimes I've listened to one podcast over again, maybe or rewound it just a little bit, and it's really weird. As somebody with photographic memory, as I'm sure many of you do, I will be listening to that podcast again, and I will remember what I was doing while I was listening to that podcast.
Yeah,
because you have like a visual that goes with the audio, and so I'll be driving down the street listening. And I'll listen to a clip later, and I'll be like, "Oh, I was at passing Taco Bell on Brown Street."
Yep. Yeah.
When I I do have a lot of music that makes me super, super productive, and I put on the Bose Quiet Comfort Select 35 headphones, and turn on that noise reduction, and it all goes away.
Right. You know what?
This week's episode brought to you by Bose Comfort Select 35 headphones. Yes, Bose. It's the amazing sound of Bose. Doesn't matter if you're on a plane or at home or driving in your car. Put on your noise reduction headset and go to town.
What? I was
literally.
I was on Reddit the other day, and it was like an audio file or a music or something subreddit, and you know, there were some people talking about, you know, they like the Bose Quiet Comfort, but that's the noise cancellation versus the sound isolation, and that got me really interested. The sound isolation, because you're talking about like the straight up, like it's basically blocking out all sound from your ears. So I'm really interested, and like if you look at the difference in the cost, you know, it's like significantly different.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
For sure.
So anyway, like I was just thinking maybe I try out some of these isolation ones, and maybe I'll convince you to buy some of those. Anyway, I don't know.
Anyway, other things I do. Number 1, I get off Facebook. Number 2, I like to turn off a lot of notifications on my phone. I never have notifications on Facebook on my phone, number 1, ever. I don't have Slack on my iPhone. What else? I like to put on headphones, get off of Skype. Just don't let your phone distract you. Don't let Facebook distract you.
Yeah. Snooze your notifications on Slack. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, because I got notifications popping up on 2 computers and my phone because I don't turn them off. I like being, a part of the Slack community. But it's like, when you gotta focus, turn off Facebook and turn off Slack.
Yeah. Email, that's another one. I am not the type of person who likes to put on my notifications for my email because I feel like if my phone is constantly email, it's like, oh crap, I got an email, I gotta check it out. And a lot of times if I used to get a ding on my phone for email, I wouldn't even open the phone and be like, oh, there's an email. So then I would open up my browser on my computer and then I would open up Gmail. And when I opened up Gmail, all it would be is like some sort of, I don't know, newsletter from Casper Mattress or something. And right. I'm like, well, I thought I unsubscribed from this. So I unsubscribe.
And then you get distracted.
And then I get an email saying, you have unsubscribed.
Yeah.
You have opted to not get emails. Here's an email to let you know. And so then I'm like, well, I got my browser open. Let me check Facebook real quick.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it's been 20 minutes. So everything becomes a rat hole. Everything becomes a distraction. Turn off those notifications. Your email is still going to be there. No, if something was blowing up somewhere so super bad that someone had to get a hold of you, they're not going to email you. They're going to call you and be like,
yeah,
it's an emergency. So just turn off those beeps and bloops and put on some headphones and just do your thing. The other thing is know when you can work. Know when your mind is in that right mindset. I cannot get up at 9 o'clock in the morning and sit down and start like heavy into Octane. It does not happen for me.
I absolutely can. Like,
you can?
Yeah. But like, and it's like I'm right at it. I am good to go the second I wake up. Well, take a shower, get my kid to school, but as soon as I sit down at my desk, like maybe 5 minutes later, I'm ready to go, Like I can get hard into it, but then I slowly teeter throughout the day,
See, I do the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Like I need coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And I have to sit and I do want to read my emails in the morning, figure out what I have to do for the day, check the Facebook, look at a bunch of memes about Donald Trump or whatever for a minute and then close that and then check Twitter, figure out what I got to do. And then, I got to make this call and I do this. And then it's the afternoon time and all of that. And then I'm like, all right. And finally, once all of that stuff dies down and we get into like 6 o'clock at night, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to like dive into some Octane stuff. And it gets dark outside and the headphones are on and nobody's calling me and we're not trying to take care of everything else in the world. And I recognize that that's where my brain works the best. So then I plan ahead for that and say, okay, I'm going to work on all the stuff and things for business today during the day. And then tonight is when I'm going to get this giant chunk of this project done that I'm working on because that works the best for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm never going to be like, oh, well, I'll just fix all of that first thing at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning because I know it's not going to happen. It's going to be counterproductive. Everybody's going to be interrupting me.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It is a totally different ballgame though during the summer when my wife and my kid are home. It's like in the morning I'll start working, but like that's only for maybe half an hour to an hour until my kid wakes up. And then it's like, okay, I'm dad for a couple more hours, and then then I'm back to work. But that may change once I get my new house and I actually have a door.
But here's the other thing. Sometimes you have to work.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Number one, case in point being, if you are not self-employed, right, you have to go to your job.
Yeah.
So
I would think that commute, though, wakes you up and stuff like that. Back when I was working, it didn't take me long to get into stuff, Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a morning person now. I used to be a night person. Now I can't stay up past 10:30.
I completely just had a hard time getting into what I was working on at work before because I was literally having to work exactly when someone told me to work, and it was against my circadian rhythms or whatever. I was just like, I can't. But when you have to work, even if you plan yourself, even if you say, okay, well, I'm good at working at night.
Yeah.
I can work at night, so I'm going to work at 6 o'clock tonight. And then you can sit down and you're like, I am not into this.
Well, do you also think that maybe you're working until 6, you're working from 6 to like 3 a.m. and then trying to wake up at 7 to get your kids ready for school and stuff. So you've only had 4 hours of sleep. So you're like, oh, I'm so tired.
Right. But lately I've been getting enough sleep. It's not even that. For me, it's just like my body is in that mindset at that time of night. I'm in the zone. And you see, I do these live streams. Mm-hmm. I've set up live streams at 5 and 6 o'clock in the evening, and I've gone for 5 hours.
Yeah.
And look down and be like, how did I just do a stream for 5 hours?
Yeah.
Because it was just the perfect time of night doing something I like, listening to music, chilling out. But if you have a project that has a deadline and it has to get done, you have to force yourself to do it. Yeah. So if you have the opportunity, you can plan ahead. If you don't have the opportunity and you have to sit down and work something, how do you get in that mindset when you have no choice but to work? I
actually get when I've got a project, like for example, yesterday I had a project that I knew I had a lot of work to do. I knew I had a lot of work to do. I knew I had an extra day today, to do it, but I wanted to try and get it done, in one day instead of 2. So like I knew I had a lot of work. So actually while I'm in the shower, I'm, thinking about the day and how I'm going to process stuff and kind of getting myself
shower thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Getting myself like pumped up and ready to go in order to, really tackle this project.
Right.
So that's, and I don't know, like I have to take a shower in the morning every time. Even if I know I'm going to work out in like a couple hours and I'm going to take another shower anyway, I have to take a shower in the morning because it wakes me up.
I am the opposite.
I know. And so
you know.
I know because I see your hair whenever you get on Skype with me in the morning.
And my hair's always like that. When is it not like that?
Right. So I think like that waking up and stuff like that, then I'm just ready to go. I always, and before I go to bed at night, I am always thinking about what's my day like tomorrow so that I can get everything planned out. I don't know. I'm a planner. I really am. I may not seem like it because I don't, actually comment on any of our paper stuff or anything like that, but I am a planner.
That's the other thing I do in the morning too. I sit there and I go through Dropbox paper and I organize and all that kind of stuff. But I will say I do have a lot of thoughts in the shower, and there is a thing you can get. It's called, what is it called?
Oh, the stupid like
Aqua
waterproof.
Notes.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Oh man, I love me some Aqua Notes. I'll sit there and just sketch something out. It's a little suction cuppy thing that goes to the wall in your shower, and it has waterproof paper and a waterproof pencil, and you can sit there and draw and sketch things out and take notes while you're in the shower. It's great. I'm telling you, check it out. It's on Amazon. Use the code word Brograph. Just kidding.
This week's episode brought to you by Aqua Notes and Bose 35.
Right. Wear your Bose 35 in the shower with your Aqua Notes.
That's funny.
No, don't do that.
Did you hear about people taking showers with their iPhones just because they're waterproof now?
I hate to admit that.
Did you actually do it?
When I'm in the shower, if I have time, there's 2 reasons to take a shower. Number 1 is for the stank. Number 2 is to relax, right? And to just like get the hot water. You've had a long day. You just want to stand there for a minute and just like relax in the shower. I have grabbed my phone before and brought it in because I have an iPhone 10. It's like super close to waterproof. I'll stand there with my phone in the shower. I don't care.
Wow, that's really funny.
Just like get in there and like surf Facebook for a minute or look something up and just chuck something out and then just toss it back on top of the towel outside the shower.
Really
it's
funny.
Fine. It survives. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, you can just take a break and yeah, man, you should try it. You should try it.
No, I'm good. Like,
it's not going to mess up the phone. The phone will be fine.
No, I believe you. I want social networking and everything as far away from the shower as possible. Like my shower, that's my peace place. That's where I'm at peace. It's in the shower.
What about, anyway. A lot of times what I'll do is...
What was the question again?
No, I'll get on Reddit. I don't know how we got down this rat hole. We were talking about distraction, and we ended up getting distracted.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's how it happens. Okay. This is why we don't get on Skype while we're trying to work.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. I also have 4 computers and 4 monitors, and I've got different things going at all time on each computer. You know? I don't know. It does get distracting. Turn them off.
Arcade Retro Romantic said, "This is weird, but it's funny." That's our podcast in a nutshell, I think.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much it. Okay. Yeah. Last thing on this distraction thing, because we haven't addressed this. When you have to work on something and you're not in the zone, what do you do?
When I have to work, I just start. I just go.
Yes.
You know, eventually you'll get there.
I feel like that is the hardest thing to do when you're like, you don't want to do something. You really, really don't. And you're just getting on Facebook. It's like, just open it up and just say, dude, just go.
Yeah.
And sometimes, not all the time.
Billy Chitkin said, if you ain't scrolling through your fire Instagram feed in the shower, then you ain't living. How else does anyone get inspired?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I think one of the things that happens is if you force yourself to start working on something, a lot of times you actually do get into the zone forcefully. Yeah.
Well,
but sometimes
also
you don't.
Think about it. Like, some of the stuff that we're doing doesn't necessarily take a lot of creativity, you know?
Yeah, you're rotoing something. You just don't want to do
it. Exactly. You just don't want to do it. Exactly.
Right.
So, but once you start, like, then you'll get into a rhythm and you'll feel pretty good, and then you'll wake up, you know?
Right. You get through that, you break through that threshold of just crap that's just holding you back from actually opening the program and just opening the files and starting and going.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's like Roto or something, I'll put on some headphones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, David talks about that a lot. He's like, I'm okay with Roto because I'll sit there and listen to a podcast or do whatever and zone out.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I get that. I don't like it, but I get that.
Yeah. My first big Roto job,
Roto.
That's where I was introduced to Gary V. And like, you know, I listened to basically his entire YouTube discography, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, all right, let's go to another topic. Your next topic is from Bebootable. Topic: when a project could be awesome, but you are given no time to do it. And he actually posted this in the Slack and said, he posted a link to something he was working on, right? And he said, okay, well, this is what I'm working on. It's okay, but it could be so much better if I was actually able to spend more time on it and do all of this other stuff. So he says, when a project could be awesome, but you're given no time to do it. This is a project I'm working on and has potential to be so cool, but I only have 2 weeks while still doing other projects to do it. Even if I can slam through it, I won't have the time to objectively critique and iterate. I'm sure this is a problem for a lot of people. Currently trying to get the producer to ask the client for more time, but of course he doesn't want to do that. It's finding that balance. So, honestly,
I think you went about it the right way. You know, if you've got a more creative and better way of doing things, you know, shoot it over to the director or shoot it over to your client and stuff like that and say, you know, this is the way we should do it if you guys want to, you know, make it exponentially better or, you know, raise the bar a little bit more, then yeah, exactly. This is what we've got to do. And if they go for it, they go for it. If not, you know, just kind of brush it off. Now, there's this video that Matthias shot with Ash Thorpe that hasn't been released yet. And I was watching it, and Ash said his last project, what was it, Epoch or something like that? I can't remember. That was originally a client project that he decided to just take on himself. So, I mean, sometimes, yeah, if you decide to even not take the job or something like that, if it's for a client and you want to take the job, do your best to get through it as much as you can, to put as much creativity as you want towards it, within a allotted time frame. But, if it
Dan Marino.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you want to make it your own, then make it your own. But then it becomes yours, and it doesn't become the client, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. Dan Marino says, I gave up trying to make masterpieces. I make, and every once in a while a muse comes along and touches my piece with amazingness. Dan Marino, a.k.a. Troy Aikman, a.k.a.
What was it?
Elliot,
I totally forgot.
Elliot Smith?
Mike Madonna,
Emmett
that's
Smith.
what it was. I love you, Dan Marino.
But I agree with you on that, is that sometimes if it's something you really feel like it can really go somewhere. I know our friend Lance in particular, he's done that a lot of times, where he's like, I only had like a week on this, and I would love to really like push this up a notch and make it really, really great for my reel. So I think that with your client, it's going to be hard to come back and tell them, well, this could be really, really great if you just spent a lot more money. They're going to be like, well, that's great. I thought you were going to make this great in the first place. And they're not going to
come on. I asked for fast and cheap.
Yeah, they're not going to quite understand that. Yeah, they're getting fast and cheap. That's what it is. So I think that's the best option. Just save it for when you have a little downtime and be like, you know what? I'm going to step this up a little. I'm going to re-render it, and then it's going to be reel worthy. Because nothing's worse than making something real worthy and a client screwing that up. So, and iterate too. If you have something you really like, and then they make a bunch of changes you don't like, and you're going to have to kind of go back a little bit as well, and kind of like make it suck from what you had, save that version. So I've seen a lot of people do that too. They put the version they liked better on their reel, not what the client ended up with in the end. So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I want to say I've done that once or twice too.
Elizabeth, Dan Marino also says Elizabeth Gilbert on Genius is a great TED Talk. So,
I'll find that one and put it in the dingus.
I used to travel on the road with her. I almost ran her over with a go-kart. True story.
All right.
Wasn't really a go-kart. It was a cooler. That was retrofitted with wheels to be a go-kart, and they didn't tell me the brakes didn't work when I got on it, and I almost ran over Elizabeth Gilbert. My bad. Keep sending in your questions to my brother and me. She's a big Bim Bam fan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, here, I'm putting it in the dingus. You're going to see some text over my face.
Oh, what are you putting in the dingus? Yeah,
that YouTube.
Hey, it's really good that Skype put that link all over your face.
I know.
So that I know that gibberish of a link is something I need to see.
Yeah, I know. It's so stupid.
It's not like it's in the chat or anything, or in the notification where the chat is, but I'm glad that link was all on top of your face. God, Microsoft, I hate you.
And so we're back on Windows.
The chat that's on the right side if you're on Windows, but the chat is on the left side if you're on Mac.
Right.
We have two different design teams for that. Because reasons. All right, let's go on to some...
No, I was gonna go on to like just go ahead. Whatever.
Okay. Let's go on to some links. We're gonna go to some stuff that isn't topic ideas and such.
Oh, links. Okay, cool. Okay. Like I got a good link. Okay, it's 3dxo.com/textures/eyes. I used this recently on a project.
Put that link in the dingus, please.
Okay. Well, it'll go over my face.
Oh yeah. Whatever.
So it's this is pretty cool. Now they're not the highest quality, but you could actually use them say for at a distance or relatively close. I rendered mine relatively close at 720p and then made them smaller in post. And these are textures, just textures for eyes and stuff like that. And I was able to take one of these and then take a picture of like an actual eye and stuff like that, and stick the pupil inside there, so it looked much more realistic. And it was a pretty good little resource for eye textures and stuff.
Yeah, these are really, really good. I just don't know why the iRye, that's plural for iris, right?
I guess.
The iRye.
Irises.
I prefer iRye.
Okay. Like Ri-Fi. Ri-Fi, iRye.
I think that they could have been a little bit higher res. I was just looking at them. I'm like, these are really, really great, and there's a lot of really cool variations, but there's something about... And the rest of it's pretty good res. For some reason, the iRye are just not quite there. So you just got to do what you did and just modify it, but it's a good start for sure. Let's see. What else? Okay, here's a good link. We talked about... what is it called? griptools.io last week, right? And the fact that it lets you have an interface to Cinema 4D in many different ways. The OSC, it's just kind of a Swiss Army knife in and out of Cinema 4D. Something we didn't talk about, because I didn't really notice it, was a new thing that they added. If you look at Brograph experiment like number 3, where we did that green screen thing, we used an iPhone and just put the iPhone on the camera we were using so that it would mimic the rotation of the camera in Cinema 4D. Well, something that they've added now to this package that you can get is iExplore AR, which allows you to take a video with your phone, but then also pull the XYZ rotation and movement, the positional data as well, like full AR. So you could do an AR thing and, like, say, record a desk with something on it, and then grab that video and then grab that info from the camera, from the gimbal, from the motion sensors at the same time, and from the AR, about where you were in XYZ space and all of that. So that's something else to check out on there. We kind of missed that last week.
Yeah, that's cool.
Arcade Retro Romantic says, I'm bookmarking these things that you guys share. This will all be in the show notes at brograph.com in the podcast section for this show later on, if you want to grab all those up. Physically based render encyclopedia.
Yes.
You sent me this week.
Yeah, I think it was Liam who posted this. I could be wrong. And so if someone else did, I apologize. But basically, it is an A to Z talking about physically based, anything you could want to know about physically based shaders and stuff like that. It's very, very cool.
The one thing that I was looking at, I noticed the microsurface, aka roughness. I think the big thing when it comes to this particular document is they're talking about kind of like the float, 0 to 1, 1 to 0. They go 1 to 0 instead of 0 to 1.
Yeah.
So when it's talking about microsurface, which is roughness, it's backwards, and it's saying this level starts at 1 and goes to 0, which I'm guessing that's why roughness is backwards in Octane, and you have to do the invert thing. It's just a guess. But this is a really, really great reference, and if you want to really nerd out and learn about all these things, it's interesting because there are lots of names for many things.
Yeah.
When you go to different engines, they call them different things, and I don't understand why they do that, why there isn't one particular thing. Like, why is it microsurface and not roughness? And is there a reason that it's called that? Is it slightly different? Or is that just something that they're doing just because reasons?
Yeah.
I don't know, but great reference. And then...
Yeah, super good reference.
Also just announced today is something that Grayscale Gorilla is putting out. It's Gorilla Cam.
Yes.
I've been seeing people talk about that. If you're coming to DFW C4D, you will have a chance to win a copy of that.
Yes.
So I've been excited to see what this is, because I knew we were going to give out a copy of it, but I didn't know exactly what it was yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So we knew it was coming. So check that out. There'll be a link for that as well, but that's been all over their Twitter and everything today. You can find that easily. So
Yeah, and big shout out to all the sponsors that we've got coming up for DFW C4D.
Mm-hmm.
Who all do we got, Dave? We've got Grayscale Gorilla, of course.
iDesign.
Maxon, of course. iDesign. Fox and Hound, where we're holding the event. Mitch Myers is going to give some stuff away. We're going to give some stuff away. Is Mr. Plow giving some stuff away?
Mr. Plow is giving away stuff too.
Mr. Plow is giving some stuff away. We also got confirmation from Joey from School of Motion. He's going to send one of his guys there with some copies of the Freelance Manifesto.
He's sending somebody?
He has got someone who actually lives here in Denton.
Oh, nice.
So
I did not know that.
Yeah,
awesome.
So he's got someone who's going to be giving away some copies. We're going to be giving away some copies of the Freelance Manifesto, which I think is just awesome.
Nice.
Am I missing anyone, Dave?
I'm not sure. The fact that Mr. Plow's going to be there is awesome.
Is he actually coming?
Yeah, he's actually coming. Mr. Plow will be there.
Yeah. School of Motion, Pixel Plow, Fox and Hound, Maxon, iDesign, Mitch Myers, Grayscale Gorilla, and Brograph. Yes.
And you know who we didn't actually hit up, which we should have hit up? We forgot to hit up MotionWorks.
Yeah,
to see if they wanted to give anything away. I mean, I guess we still can at this point.
Liam says he'll give some stuff away too.
Oh, yeah? Some of his Gumroad stuff? That'd be cool.
Yeah, totally.
Nice. Okay, so let's move on to your favorite segment.
People, where do you get that Grebo? People, what's up with that guy?
Are you ready for this?
Oh, are you going to do audio?
Am I going to do audio?
No, I didn't know if you were doing the live stream. If you need a button for the live stream
this
now.
Is
to
all
actually play
about
it. Can you do that?
The audio show. I'm not doing anything but placing streaming.
Right, no,
if I take a pee break, I'm going to get up and everybody in the live stream is going to wait while I take a pee break, and I'm not going to edit it.
Well, I really wish I knew we could do that. I really wish I knew we could do that last week because I was dying last week.
Yeah, you totally can, and I'll just put a little standby thing on while you pee.
No, I was going to say, with that new little button thing that you get, can that do audio as well? So could you press a button and then
anything? Yes.
Yeah,
but it doesn't
and
work
then it plays
that way.
But
I can't hear it because I'm not doing it in the actual live thing. Like, this is not set up that way. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
You know the meme? This all in, by the way.
You know the meme. Well, I am keeping all this in because I'm not going to edit it.
Well, you're gonna have to because this is right next to people's people, apparently.
No, all I do is slide over that pre-made audio to the right section, and it's done.
All right.
But the live stream, that's a whole other animal. I'd have to have a separate mixing board, and I'd have to play it, and I'd have to hear the feedback from the live stream to make sure that it worked, and then that would be in the live audio that I'm recording in the separate channels, and then I'd have to go edit that. I have to have another version.
All right.
That's why there is no people's people audio.
You want me to just sing it? I'll sing it.
No.
I need to learn it on the ukulele.
I'm going
Got my ukulele back there, you know?
I'm going to his page now on Twitter, on the Twitters, so that we can talk about this. On the Twitterverse.
I already had it up.
That's what she said. So, the first one we're going to look at today is going to be February 12th, year of our Lord 2018.
Which one is it?
If you're following along at home, February 12th. It's called Super Vacation.
Okay.
I'll bring that up here so we can take a look. So, this is really interesting to me. I think we're going to have a lot to say about the storyline with this.
Well, I don't know if this goes within our storyline or... Oh, okay, never mind, it does. It totally does.
Yeah?
Okay, so first off, what do you think? Octane, Redshift? Houdini?
I am going to say Octane.
Okay.
Because, and I might be wrong, but it looks like I'm seeing a little bit of Fireflies.
I think that's just the texture he puts on top
of it. And Hot Pixel. I don't know. What do you think on the bag there? You don't think that that's a little bit of low sample? I don't know.
Yeah, you could be right on there.
You got a person like in a hospital bed. They're covered in this plastic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Not even a hospital bed. It's more like a brick slab, and they got flowers around them.
Yeah.
As if they're dead, but they're on all these machines like they're in a hospital, this guy, right?
Yeah.
So there's some lights behind him, and then there's a palm tree. And I'm pretty sure I have that exact palm tree as a model.
You think it's Forrester?
No, I don't think it's Forrester. I think it's that other library we have of trees. I think that's what it is. Anyway, the story behind this is what I was going to bring up, is the fact that we've been talking about this whole transport. How do you get from one place to the other? And are there people that they have kind of in stasis? And so...
Yeah, I think this is a stasis type thing. I think maybe this is the precursor for going inside of the transportation, vessel. This is to get them prepared for the transportation vessel, and then this is just like a super vacation.
Well, I think that's the thing. You don't come back from this. You don't come back to Earth when you do this. So everybody says goodbye and pays their respects. They're not going to see you again.
Right.
You're dead to them.
Well, I don't know about this. Yeah. Because this, okay, now think about it this way. This was in the time before the transportation, the spherical transportations and the beams and stuff like that.
Okay, before they got the ability to do that.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. So, this was when they physically had to go. So they had to go under some sort of cryostasis or something like that. So this is the beginning going into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's called super vacation because I think it's super vacation because it's a vacation you go on where you don't come back. But it's vacation because I think the fact that you're going to this new world that's like super nice in comparison to post-apocalyptic Earth, I think what's going on here is this is your vacation. This is your way out. And maybe it's possible that you have to be very wealthy to make it to the new planet.
Maybe. Yeah, that could be
just keep that in mind going forward with some of these new
Okay, so you think
pieces that are coming out.
think this is creating like there is a
it's going to be ghetto Earth.
Huge financial gap between like the top 1% and the bottom 99, and the 99 are going to be stuck on Earth, and the top 1% are going to be the ones who have to terraform this new world.
It's kind of like Left Behind.
I would think that they would. I would think that they would do it a different. Oh no! I got it even better. This is much better. They're doing this to people so that they can set up the initial planet. Because these people aren't actually poor or aren't actually rich. They are not part of the 1%. The 1% is sending all of these poor schmucks to go and work and work in this whole thing, terraforming the new world and stuff like that. And then because of that, they're the ones working so that the 1%ers can just use the beam and they don't have to sit through the whole thing.
Interesting.
Because 1%ers don't like to work hard. They don't work hard.
They don't?
No. Not with their hands, not like physically.
With their hand. Oh, physically.
Yeah. Okay. No, they like to boss people around. So they're going to send workers, up to the new planet and stuff like that. I don't know.
I feel like you're a little jaded by Trump, but okay. Next on the agenda
More than a little.
is we're going to go to February 17th. This piece is called Amsterdam.
Which, really quick, let me just say, the primaries are coming up. If you guys haven't registered to vote, like seriously, just go, like enough people were pissed off that it was between Hillary and Trump. It was a really hard decision between everyone, but and honestly, if you would just go out and vote in your primaries right now, you actually get to choose the person that you want to vote for in the actual election.
How about
go
that?
out and vote, jerkwads. I'm just kidding. I love you all.
Okay. So let's go back to.
And if you live in Texas, go for Beto O'Rourke.
Oh my gosh.
And Jeffrey Payne for governor.
All right.
If you're voting Democrat, if you're voting Republican, I can't tell you.
February 17th, this is called Amsterdam.
531 said, gotta go terraform like a poor person. That's good.
All right. So the first thing that you'll notice is that there's like these weird pipes and air conditioner things in the sky, which is weird. So I'm assuming that there is glass on the outside of this because
maybe
you can see the sky, but why would they have fire sprinklers and air conditioners? I don't know, but it looks like he got the pack from Pixel Lab that lets you do the pipes and air ducts and all of that stuff. And so technically, that's what it looks like it is. Lots of people. I love his people. I love that. I love those cars.
Mm-hmm.
So these are people walking down a street, and it looks like Amsterdam, but there's scaffolding and there's like weird stuff in the sky, but you can still see the sky. So I'm guessing this is under glass. Maybe this is in the New World. Maybe it's a new Amsterdam, if you will.
I think no.
See what I did there?
I think
New York,
a new
Okay.
Amsterdam.
New Amsterdam.
I think that's it's like in Harry Potter where it's not the real sky, it's just bewitched to look like that. I think that maybe that's just like a giant LED wall or something like that, or a painting or something like they do in Vegas at Paris.
Oh yes, totally.
Where it just looks like the sky.
Yeah. And then you got the giant church thing in the background. Now, as far as the story, is this the new or the old planet is the first question. Is this in the era where they were still terraforming and they had to have you enclosed inside a place?
I think this was just before the fall, maybe. This is
on Earth.
This is on Earth before the Facebook fall.
Before the Facebook fall.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And why is the church kind of like...
I don't think that's a church. I think because look at all the pipes and everything coming out of it. I think that's actually a working station and stuff like that.
I thought that was like one of those places where they
go to work.
You don't think it's one of the places where they go worship orbs and stuff like they do?
I don't think so. No, because those look much more religious.
Oh.
See, this doesn't go immediately religious to me because look at all the air ducts coming out of it and stuff. I think a lot of these people are actually
people don't need air ducts.
That's not what I'm saying at all, but I think a lot of these people are actually going to work within that. Like that's a factory. Like maybe this is within the New World and it's like way past, and it's this is one of the air factories that they've got to do. Or maybe this is in the old world, that's already been demolished or is getting demolished.
Okay.
Pre-Facebook, because I believe the skies were burned at that point.
Oh, they were. Okay.
Right.
All right. And somebody's going to have to go back and catalog this stuff.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, someone can...
We got to get the story
honestly,
in order.
Yeah, we do. We'll just
we'll
just write a book. We'll write a book and we'll call it Beeple's Person. No, we'll just name it Beeple.
Beeple's People.
It could be Beeple's People.
I think that's appropriate.
Okay, I'm going to start writing this book.
Okay, wish you would.
Maybe every week I'll read off the next chapter that I wrote.
Okay.
And then after like 30 chapters, then we'll sell the book. We'll actually print it and people can buy it. And then we'll give all the proceeds to charity.
To Beeple's People charity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which we still have not established. Do we have paperwork done on that? We got the 501c3 filed. Are we good?
For the Beeple's People? All right.
February 19th. This is called Z Space. And this is where I swear that we're influencing a little bit. Because last week we talked about that stream that everybody's walking into.
Okay. Yeah.
So this guy it looks like he's walking into this digital stream. Like it's almost like this is a close-up of the new beam. So this would be years down the line. They figured out how to get people from Earth to the new planets that are being terraformed with the mini Beeple's People and such. And so this guy is walking into it. Number one thing I'm going to say is this is Octane.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
I'm going to say, okay, do you see the square thingy in between?
Yeah,
I don't know what that is. That an Octane light? I don't know.
I think that's an Octane light.
Okay.
That is, that should have been not seen.
So the thing is, he's about to walk into it. It's not like it looks to me like he's going to go inside of it, like the beam we were talking about before. It is the digital stream.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, but the fact that it's called Z Space, I was curious if maybe that's the name for the beam for going into this like dimension that transports you through the beam from Earth to one of the other planets. It's called Z Space.
Oh, I like that.
You know?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
And I feel like he's about to hit that stream, and this just takes you through Z Space into the other planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's all so easy now. And this is a big deal because when they invent this technology, then all the poor people on Earth can come to the new planet.
Mm-hmm.
But at least, they have more people to come work.
Will they be able to afford it? That's the question.
Well, what's going to happen is all the rich people need someone to work for them.
Well, that's true.
On the new planet.
They need waiters and, laborers.
I mean, it was a paradise. It still is a paradise in the new world, but you need more workers, and you need to get them there efficiently.
It was a paradise, and then they put up a parking lot.
Yeah. Anyone?
No.
Okay. No? All right. So that wraps up the Beeples people. So
I like the idea. We're really not going to go into Dun World?
No, we only do 3. Sorry.
All
Next week we'll do Dun World.
Okay. I have a lot I want to say about this.
Okay. Don't worry. We will.
All right. Oh, I love that transition.
All right, let's go to email social. Sage. He says, talking about...
Sage.
Love you, Sage. Can't wait to see you at NAB. So talking about the deepfake stuff, because now I'm actually listening to the audio. One of the technical directors at the office was a bajillion% convinced that this Boston Dynamics video was fake. And if you've been around the internet a lot, you see Boston Dynamics has been producing these robots that look like dogs that can walk themselves. The newest one can actually open a door by itself and go inside and let other robots in. And the one they're showing off in this video is kind of like a mini version of the big one, the famous one where like they're trying to kick it down a hill and all that and abuse it and see how it responds. This is like a mini-me version of that, right? So this person at his office like was totally convinced that it was CG and telling Sage that, come on, man, you're like a graphics guy. Like you should totally notice that this is CG. It's not CG.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's
but
very cool.
I can see what they're saying. It does look like CG because it doesn't look real, but it's real and it's spectacular.
It's real. Yeah.
G Rant, not to be confused with Grant.
Right.
This says, quick question about mail track. What's the big difference between basic and pro? Basic still doesn't let people know you're using it, right? And I think you answered this on the channel, so you have a good idea.
Basic does not let people know that you're tracking them. And it just adds a whole bunch of extra things, which honestly I don't even use.
Yeah.
All you really want to know is that they've read your email. That's it. Yep.
So that's it. Bebotable says, thanks for asking Jules our questions, Brograph. You guys really make us feel heard, and I so appreciate that. Dave and Matt, and David Ariev.
Yay, David Ariev.
Got a question from Chris Mapp. Question about selling internationally. Hey guys, listen to your podcast all the time. I really enjoy it. It looks like you guys are using Squarespace to sell your products online. How are you dealing with international sales, specifically all the VAT mayhem? I recently built a small online store to sell 3D models. I'm wondering how you're dealing with that. Just a few artists looking for help on the international business side of things. Thanks. Or I'm sorry, just a fellow artist, not a few artists.
We just put VAT, PO, or something like that, and then they fill it in.
Well, we got a lot of people who would ask for that. And say, well, I need to put in the VAT number because the receipt needs the VAT so I can turn it in or give it to my boss or and I don't think there's nothing that we have to do as the seller when it comes to VAT. Mm-hmm. I don't believe. I haven't had any issue with it. That's why I really don't know. But I did put VAT on there so that they could put number
their own
on
VAT
it.
number.
Yeah, and I actually made it a field that was like, what was it? Invoice/receipt/VAT number /PO/reference number, whatever you want to put in there. It's kind of like a just random reference number field so that you can do that yourself, because it wasn't really that they wanted us to do anything. It's that they wanted a place to put the number,
I guess.
And that's all I've heard so far. I haven't had any issues with it. You know, as far as I know, we just take those sales numbers and we pay taxes on it, and that's all we do. So that's pretty much it. I don't know if there's anything else in particular. Like, if you want to email us, let us know if there's anything particular about VAT that might have happened with you. But I just put the field in there and haven't really had any other issues.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily say like that's 100% the right way, but so far so good. It hasn't been an issue, but if it is, I'll let you know. Tom Heathrow sends an email and says, "Hey guys, I know you've had a lot of situations going on with Dropbox. How is that now?"
You
good.
Fixed it, didn't you?
Yeah, you know what the stupid problem was with the Dropbox not opening?
Listen to this. This is so dumb.
It was a server computer. It's set up on Team Viewer. We don't have monitors connected to it. Hooking up a monitor solved the Dropbox problem. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So stupid.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So stupid.
Basically, for some reason, you can't see the screen load unless the monitor is connected. I don't know if it's like an OpenGL thing or what it is. It's so dumb. So that's what it is. So that's going well now. Everything's good. We've had pretty good success. I don't like their support, but everything is working well. He said, "I forget if you've covered this, but have you looked into Rezilo? Create your own peer-to-peer network for shared folder workflows. I'm only just looking into it myself, but it has been recommended for render workflows, and thought of your pains and David Aryev's home studio network situation."
What is this again?
RESILIO.com. Now, the only thing is that it's syncing between your computers, which to me means there's kind of a cloud aspect of it that's left out.
Yeah.
You know, you might have the same copy of something somewhere, but I really like the fact that Dropbox isn't just about sharing files, but it's about backing up. And the history. You know, there's a lot of times, have you ever done this? You open up a project file because you're going to make a similar project file. You know, you're going to make a variation on a Cinema 4D file or a Photoshop file where you're going to save a new version and give it new attributes to accommodate something else, and then you accidentally save over the old version.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, crap. I meant to do a save as, and I forgot.
Yeah. Then you just go back to the old version on Dropbox.
Yeah, it's so easy. You right-click in your Finder or in your Explorer, and you say version history, and it opens up in the browser, and you say go back to that. It resyncs, and you're done. I love that.
Yeah. There's been a few times where I actually, like, when I would normally be worried about something like that, I actually have, like, thought, no, I don't care. Like, if it's like, okay, I leave a bunch of things open and then I'm closing them down. It says, do you want to save? And I'm like, I don't know. Sure. Okay.
Right.
You know,
because
like normally I'd be like, oh man, I don't know. When was the last time I saved? Blah, 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 you know, but now I just hit because if I need to go back to a normal version, I've got it.
Right. And I'm real careful with that too. If it's something I'm going to open and modify and I don't want to save, I really make sure I close it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, all these are great and all of these solutions have their advantages, but for us with Dropbox, it's still, despite its problems, has been kind of the best thing for us. So far, we haven't found anything better, including Google Drive. I don't know. I don't like their support either. So it's just, this is still the best working solution. Mr. Meeseeks, we reset up the other day once we got past that stupid video thing. And again, it just brings all the projects in. You selective sync what you want to work on. It's fast. Their bandwidth is always incredible. Their bandwidth is always as fast as you can get on your personal bandwidth. So it's always fast. So that about wraps it up, unless anybody else has any questions or anything in the live chat. I don't know what else we would talk about today, but that's a lot of listener questions and feedback.
That was good. That was a good group of listener questions. Thank you, guys.
So remember, if you want to send some stuff in, Brograph at brograph.com. It can be show topic ideas. It could be questions. It could be technical. It could be about business stuff. It doesn't matter what it is. Brograph at brograph.com, or you can share it, brograph.com/Slack, and you can put that in the channel show topic ideas, something like that. And there's a lot of other good stuff in there. You can also go to brograph.com and check out some of our other stuff, tutorials and other podcasts and live streams. Brograph.tv will get you there. And check out the plugins while you're there too. And maybe buy a shirt. We'll have the Render Things shirt up shortly, and you can check that out. So,
and if you're going to be in Dallas in March 1st, we are having DFW C4D. It will
10
be
days.
Us. Yeah, is it in 10 days?
In 10 days.
It'll be us.
Actually, it's
David
less
Ariev.
than that, I think. I don't know.
Our boy David Ariev, our boy EJ Hassenfrost, our boy Mitch Myers. All of us will be there, having fun.
It's giving away
fun.
Come see
Brograph
us.
stickers and tons of prizes.
Tons of prizes.
Yep.
And free drinks. Lots of free drinks being given out. You can rate us on iTunes. You can leave a review. You can also subscribe to us if you don't already do that on your podcatcher of choice. It helps get our ratings up, and so do the reviews. You can subscribe to our newsletter, which goes out sometimes, occasionally, very rarely. So we won't bug you too much on that. You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the No Brograph, No Mograph tee. The Gate D. Simone limited edition shirt. Make sure you get that. It's limited.
It's very limited.
The Paul Babb, Feel the Babb 2020 shirt, all the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders, and coming soon, the Render Things t-shirt and or pullover hoodie. That'll be a lot of fun. I want to see people wearing that at NAB. That'll be great. And I believe that wraps it up. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and of course YouTube and brograph.com.
Awesome.
And Rick Bogus says EJ is there in LA tonight.
Yeah, I know. Like,
what's he doing?
I don't know. They did Colorado C4D last night.
Oh,
with Nick Campbell.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, nice.
And then EJ's in LA. That's crazy. He's like all over the place.
I think that'll be the next thing. We got to get Nick out to DFW C4D.
Yes, we do.
That'll be the next thing. So we'll talk to him at NAB about that. And it'd be cool if we could get all the Grayscale guys out, but I don't know how easy that would be to do that. Just have all three of them present, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Just the three of them, and we're done.
Have them show off all of their products, and then we're good.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, we're going to wrap up. Until next week, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
Have a good one.
Later, bros.
It's pretty good, I guess. Brograph.com, an online resource for learning Cinema 4D, After Effects, and other motion graphics tools specifically catered to help you prevail as a motion graphic designer.
What's up, bros? Welcome to another Brograph motion graphics tutorial.
With tutorials, plugins, and now a podcast with tens of thousands of listeners worldwide.
Yeah, it's a great community to be part of.
We give you professional time-saving tips, industry news, interviews, shortcuts, and lessons that help keep you current in the world of motion design.
Join HDR Studio, take the render settings, pick the HDR, put in a reflection, and gorgeous.
I love projects that scare me. When our art director comes to us and asks for something that I had never done before, man, it gets me pumped.
Our weekly long-form podcast will give you the latest news, help you in your file management, hardware configuration, and client relations. Learn about the latest render engines, modeling techniques, and workflow integration while staying entertained. Real nice banana.
Ah, that's so funny. All right. I'm going to live forever.
Our Brograph Talks are a chance to see the way industry leaders from around the globe are changing the face of motion design.
Sometimes you got to make stuff that you're not going to put on your reel, and I'm not here to judge.
The podcasts and talks include people like Beeple, Barton Damer, Nick Campbell, Andrew Kramer, David Ariev, Chad Ashley, Paul Babb, EJ Hassenfrost, Mitch Myers, Chris Schmidt, Jules Urbach, Cornelius Dammert, David Brodeur, Andy Needham, Caitlin Kaju, Zubair Parker, Noseman, Ryan Bean, Casey Hupke, Nick Lyons, Sage, Joey Korenman, Jeremy Cox, Rick Barrett, John Dickinson, Matthias Omatola, Patrick Goski, Brandon Clements, Steve Teeple, Tom Glimpse, Patrick Longstrom, Julia Simone, Devin Coe, Al Heck, and even Deadmau5.
You get that render done. Yeah, you better frame what?
Our Brograph breakdowns go behind the projects and give you an insight on what it's like to manage and maintain your own personal business or work for a large company. Join us for live sessions, check out our useful plugins, watch time-lapse projects, interact with us, and send us email questions and topic ideas. Or just hit the Rando Render button and do an imaginative daily that'll keep you on your toes.
Take all your dreams and let's do it!
Subscribe today and get automatic updates on the latest tutorials, tricks, tips, and inspiration brought to you by industry professionals Dave Koss and Matt Milstead.
We don't care how you get here, folks. Just get here.
Subscribe now to Brograph Tutorials. It's pretty good, I guess.